Hi, my name is Daniel So. I'm an American Asian, and this is podcast number 2. Not really a podcast, because I'm just speaking into a video, not remastering this and putting this on SoundCloud. Maybe I should. But yeah, right now it's more like a Jericho Green type of thing. I don't know if you know this guy. He's a guy on YouTube, and he just records himself driving to work and talking a bunch of shit, and that's that's basically what I'm doing now. 7:12 a.m. driving to work here in sunny South Korea. My first quote-unquote podcast I recorded last week. Got like 25 views. Fucking awesome. Shared it with some people. They all gave me some feedback. Yeah. And actually most of the feedback was around this idea of being an American Asian instead of an Asian American, and just idea of just identity in general. And this is a core concept, I think, that a lot of us American Asians, we kind of are struggling with. Are you American, or are you, I'm Korean, so in ethnicity, so are you Korean? And it's there's a lot of different answers for this, right? It's some people will say I'm American, some people will say I'm Korean, and then some people will say I'm Korean, or I'm this third thing, right? And it's an uncomfortable topic, because as we get older, it becomes very clear that we are not either American or Asians, right? When we're in America, we put up with this kind of it's pretty racist. It's not intentional, I think. I don't think there's malicious intent, but it's just, someone will ask you, where are you from? And you'll be like, yo, I'm from Milpitas or whatever. And then they'll be like, no, I mean, what country are you from? You've all seen those jokes. Honestly, who cares, right? But yeah, it's there. You're never going to feel 100% American. Now, why is that? I'll get into that a little bit later. But then, the point being is that if you go to your mother country, right, where you're ethnically from, you're never gonna feel again, for my example, Korean. You're never gonna feel Korean. Other Koreans will look at you and be like, what's wrong with you? Why do you look like a Korean but you talk like a mentally stunted person, right? So, and there's a lot of cultural things that you don't understand, and right? So you're never going to feel like you're either or. And I think that topic, even though I barely touched on it on my last podcast, it really it drove the most around the feedback that I got. Some people are like, this is a very sensitive thing. Don't fuck with it. Some people are like, it's an interesting thing that you're coming from, whatever. So I mean, this thing that I'm doing, I'm driving and I'm just talking whatever's on my mind, right? Because I have this weird idea that my opinions are useful. So I just got to talk about whatever I feel most strongly about, because I'm not really preparing per se, and I'm also driving, so I don't want to kill myself. So I just got to be able to speak from my gut. So let's talk about why American Asians, we don't feel accepted in America as Americans. And I'm in the tunnel right now. So, yeah. Let's get out of this tunnel first. But okay, why do we not feel American? Actually, African Americans or whatever, blacks, they don't really go through this, right? They now feel like that, even though they go through a lot of shit. I'm not taking that away from them, but I mean, you don't see them ethnically question whether they're American or not. They've kind of, as a group, they've bought into the idea as a whole that we are Americans of an African origin, right? And we are Americans first. Asians, we seem to not be able to do that, and there's probably equal blame to go on both sides. Is it the country, is it America's fault or is it our fault? I want to explore this second topic. It might be our fault because we really, really are proud. We're not proud. I don't know if pride is the right word, but we definitely carry our Asianness as an identifying marker of our core personality. That's not a good word. Personality is not a good word. But the point is that we grab on to the Asianness of ourselves and use this as a distinctive factor. And so I would say that in many ways, Asian Americans, American Asians, whatever, we are kind of like complicit in this disconnect that we have with the country because we don't want to fully be assimilated. We want to be able to maintain our core Asianness. And I think a lot of that comes with this greater philosophy that your identity comes from your distinctiveness, right? So like, I had another conversation about this with my brother. And my brother was like, I asked him, are you American or are you Korean? He's like, I'm American in Korea and I'm Korean in America. And so what does that mean? I mean, it basically portrays a certain type of thinking where like your identity has to be based around what makes you different. I'm different, right? And I think Asian Americans in general, I keep saying whatever, but the point is that we stick to this difference, right? Because it allows us to distinguish ourselves from whatever. So like when I was younger, we had a lot of Asian pride stuff, like Korean pride, you know, wearing Korean flags here and there. Yeah, and it was fun. It was fun, right? And we drove Ricer cars and, you know, we talked about all this shit, but at the same time, we couldn't speak a lick of Korean. And actually, we would actually hate on people who came directly from Korea. We would call them fobs, or I would talk about Asia, Korea, whatever. But the point being is that there was this cultural clash between fobs, fresh off the boats, and people who are born in America. So we're not really totally like being logically coherent here. So yeah, I mean that's something that I got a lot of feedback on about, you know, yeah, it's a touchy subject, and it's something I think that we as people, we as a race, class, whatever, it's something we need to embrace as like as a defining question for us, because identity is a very important thing, right? And like if you're always constantly questioning yourself, like am I an Asian American, or am I an American Asian, or whatever, it can get pretty annoying. And when you're younger, maybe it doesn't really affect you, but once you hit around like 25, I think these questions really start hitting home, right? Like, yeah, what am I, right? What's my answer? I mean, I think the name of this podcast is an attempt to approach that answer. I don't think we need to give up our Asianness. I think our Asianness, or whatever country you're from, my Koreanness, right, is a very important part of who I am. But that's who I am ethnically, right? Being American is an idea. America is a great country, and we're honored. We're honored, not honored. We're lucky is not the good word, but we're part of it. And America is what kind of like you make of it, right? You kind of make it together, and there's some clashes sometimes, and sometimes it sucks and whatever. But you try to kind of create this idea of a country with no, besides Native Americans, a country with no originals, no natives. It's just people, it's a nation of immigrants. You come in, you guys kind of clash sometimes, you guys cooperate, whatever, and then we make America what it is. But that's never going to happen until we kind of, I'm getting too preachy here, so I don't want to get too preachy, but I'm just trying to, what I'm trying to do with this thing is like, I'm trying to put the America part first, right? Like, I've been living in Korea now for 10 years. I love Korea. My wife is not Korean, she's Chinese. My daughter is, I don't know what she is, American citizen, but you know, like, I mean, I've been here 10 years, I love it here. At the same time, And what I'm trying to say is that I'm kind of like, you know, ethnically coherent with the culture here now because I've been here 10 years. Oh shit. But I'm proud to be American, and I want to get back as soon as I can. And yeah, and we have to be aware of what we are trying to be. We are trying to be Americans that, you know, yeah. We're trying to be Americans, not just as like individual people, like all of us together, to build something together. That's really preachy. Okay, I mean, fuck. I can't seem to get past this topic because well, this is only number 2. I mean, I wanted to talk about trade wars today, but I'm out of energy. Seems like I can only do this for like 10 minutes at a time. It is kind of draining to drive and talk at the same time. Probably dangerous. But yeah. So hopefully that puts that topic to bed. Maybe not. That topic will never go to bed. But yeah, that's it for now. Bye.